Anyway, 622. So is the U.S. heading for a nationwide social media ban for kids? The Senate held a hearing last week on new legislation. It's called the Kids Off Social Media Act.
It comes after Australia banned social media for kids under 16 last month. Professor of Advanced Media and Residence at the New School of Public Communication, Shelly Palmer, is here with his take. Shelly, good morning. Now, this isn't really new. They've been mulling over this since last year. Where do things stand now, and does it look like we could possibly be heading toward a social media ban for kids under 16?
Well, I'm not going to make a prediction about what the Congress of the United States may or may not legislate. What I'll tell you is that this particular bill would limit the age of social media participants to 13 and above, 16 years old, 17 years old, actually, before you get a curated feed. So they're looking to basically ban social media for pretty much everybody under 17, even though they say it's younger than that. There are a lot of real issues here. You've got First Amendment issues because minors are protected by the First Amendment, so this is going to go to court. The bill doesn't have any age of verification protocols, so I'm absolutely not sure how they would enforce it, even though the FTC would have the rights to do so. And there's another thing that's interesting. In this bill, they say that the social media company, would only require reasonable knowledge of a violation in order to be in violation of this act. And what's interesting about that is the Kids Online Protection Act, the one that's in the Child Online Protection Act, the one that's enforced right now, requires actual knowledge. And so what this would mean is that the way it's written, a social media company could actually be liable for damages or be guilty of violating this act by just reasonably understanding that their product is being used by minors. It's a much looser standard. So this is going to get challenged all over the place. I don't think we're very close to this at all, but more than half of parents in America want it. In fact, more than 60% of voters want it. So apparently, even children, more than half of children want it. So apparently this ban has a lot of public support. We'll see if it ever actually gets, through legislation to become an actual law.
Shelly, 64%, as you alluded to, of Americans favor a social media ban, according to a recent Fox News poll for people under 16. You hinted at this. Technically, how is this enforceable if this were to take effect?
Well, you need an age verification mechanism, which is not written into the bill. So that's the first level of enforcement. They would have a lot of trouble enforcing this bill as written. And by the way, speed limits aren't perfect either, but we still have them for cars. So this is basically to be thought of like a speed limit. Nothing replaces parenting. Nothing replaces good policing in the schools directly. And, a good adult guardianship, adults in the room. But I think it's directionally correct. We have to do something about the immense issues with social media addiction and body shaming and bullying and all of the things that are negatively associated with social media. They're all real. There's plenty of studies about it. So while it will be tough to enforce, I think it's a pretty nice North Star. We'll see if everyone can come to an agreement on what it ought to look like.
All right. We'll be watching. And Shelly Palmer, as always, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
See you soon.
Well, just about 6:26 on this Tuesday morning. We'll be right back with more on Good Day Wake Up.